Keep Right with Ralph K. Ginorio. Creeping Third Worldism. Today's woke social deconstructivists must be understood as being more than merely stupid, evil, or unhinged. They are, in fact, capable and well-intentioned agents of change, serving an ideal which to them is compelling. We must seriously consider why so many of our leading citizens are purposefully working to destroy us and drive America into the third world. Our mainline churches, academe, high culture, popular entertainment, corporate structures, political ideologies, and government bureaucracy are led by people who have been conditioned to hate the very culture that has given them so much. Their formal and informal education has been rooted in the conviction that the world's greatest problem is Western civilization. Our cultural ancestors are derided as being white settlers whose gunpowder-augmented hubris damned the world's indigenous peoples to this suffering that is modernity. Paradisical pre-contact cultures and civilizations outside Europe were despoiled and displaced by rapacious Europeans. In this inverted narrative, everything pride-worthy in the American and Western heritage is turned into shame. Neither freedom nor Christianity, human rights nor high technology, emancipation nor women's liberation, discovery nor colonization is praiseworthy. To them, nothing justifies America as being worthwhile. Such pervasive self-loathing has captured whole generations of young Americans. It is the inevitable result of a thoroughgoing corruption of our society's system of acculturation. In recent decades throughout the West, most every self-consciously elite school, wealthy church, sophisticated entertainment, and exclusive organization has been consumed by this anti-culture. This is why so many brilliant and well-intentioned people are waging a secular jihad against America. These purists despise the West as being the chief source of humanity's misery and oppression. This conviction is despite the fact that it was the West, only the West, and nowhere beyond the West, which developed the concepts of inalienable individual human rights to life, liberty, and property. Unique among the world's culture, the Judeo-Christian West liberated its slaves, serfs, servants, women, unbelievers, nonconformists, and countless others who would have been doomed by their birth in other societies to be victims. In fact, we then reached out and liberated many people beyond the West. Yet, because our past selves did not live up to the utopian ideals of today's most radicalized social reformers, we who are loyal to the Western tradition are damned as racist white supremacists, theocratic Christian zealots, vicious fascist thugs, polluting climate criminals, chauvinistic patriarchal sexists, bigoted puritanical homophobes, and every other conceivable form of bigot. For their utopia to be born, we must slough off our Western traditions and reject our Judeo-Christian values. If we are not persuaded to transform ourselves, we will be compelled to do so. If older generations are not reconciled to their new order, properly indoctrinated young people will supplant us. If native-born Americans will not give up their liberty and living standard, then illegal aliens can and will replace us. In fact, they are. By reason or force, their vision of a better world will be built. No compromise will be entertained. No exceptions shall be countenanced. Nothing but their utopia will exist everywhere and forevermore. This is why we must be reduced from self-consciously free first world American citizens to a state of third world helplessness, hopelessness, and vulnerability. We must be reduced from self-sufficiency to abject dependency. This is why red meat, fish, and poultry must be replaced by insects as our primary source of protein. The fair enforcement of our laws has been suspended in every Democrat community. This is why a Volkswanderung of third world serfs is being invited to cross into our borders and is in fact doing so. Innocent children are being prematurely sexualized by homosexual groomers. This is why government officials like President Biden and his spokeswoman, Saint-Pierre, publicly claim ownership over all children in place of their parents. This is why anyone's delusional claim to be whatever they fancy must be indulged by the rest of us, even if such indulgence violates our own consciences. The good of the climate is used as justification for the wrecking of American energy production. This is why the petrodollar has been demolished. Inflation is being stoked to destroy the savings of the middle class. Global food production is being throttled. Schools and colleges are indoctrinating students and punishing dissent. This is why every form of entertainment and business is being blighted by identity politics, like diversity, equity, inclusion, and government social and environmental policies. This is why private initiative is systematically stifled by bureaucratic red tape. We are being made more dependent upon a centrally controllable electrical grid. This is why masculinity is being crucified in our young men. Our young women are being taught to scorn femininity. This is why free speech is called misinformation. Churches are more focused on sexuality than salvation. This is why politics have penetrated into every single aspect of our lives, blighting everything from sports to family gatherings. We are being acclimatized to the introduction of third world dysfunction into American society. What is being prepared for all of us is being pioneered in San Francisco, California. The city on the Golden Gate today resembles Harare, Zimbabwe, more than any first world conurbation. Since the 1960s, every institution within our society has encouraged nothing less than a libertine decadence. The bonds that connected individuals to one another, the concepts of virtue, healthy families, functional faith traditions, responsible personal conduct, and an intact work ethic are demonized today as being toxic whiteness. Bravery, self-discipline, stoicism, and protectiveness are damned as being toxic masculinity. Even objective reality, the keystone of rationalism, science, and technology, is decried as being systemically racist and transphobic. The monomania of these would-be saviors prevents them from analyzing that the results of their efforts predictably lead more to Skid Row than Shangri-La. As more Americans slip from the middle class into a yawning poverty, and as our communities descend from first world to third world status, ever more of our fellow Americans will awaken to our common peril. When productive Americans are faced with their own imminent destruction, we can together topple these anti-American elites and restore our republic.